From Wish TV and the All Indiana Podcast Network, this is the News 8 Daily 8 Podcast, a Wish TV News 8 update.
Hi, this is Hannah Mordeau, and this is your News 8 Daily for Monday, August 3rd. Can you believe it? We're in August. School is back in session for a lot of kids. More kids are headed to school this week. The weather today, going to start out a little bit foggy and cooler in the 60s right now. Going to get up to about 80 degrees.
You're listening to this podcast, so I know you've got a curious mind. Here's a helpful fact you might not know yet. Drivers who switch and save with Progressive save over $900 on average. Pop over to Progressive.com, answer some questions, and you'll get a quick quote with discounts that are easy to come by. In fact, 99% of their auto customers earn at least one discount. Visit Progressive.com and see if you can enjoy a little cash back. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. National average 12-month savings of $946 by new customers surveyed who saved with Progressive between June 2024 and May 2025. Potential savings will vary.
Your day moves fast. Your news should too. That's why there's a new and improved Wish TV app, bringing you more local news, breaking alerts, live streaming, weather forecast, radar, and Indiana sports, all in one place. Customize your news feed to see the stories that matter most to you and get the information you need when you need it. Download the new and improved Wish TV app today on iOS or Android and take News 8 with you everywhere.
Marshal Brad Fisher is 10:42 for the final time. He is on home. Rest in peace, Marshal Fisher. We have it from here.
Those are the powerful words of the graveside service for Lynn Town Marshal Brad Fisher, a veteran of the police force who was killed while trying to end a chase Wednesday morning. With that last call for end of duty, the department thanked Fisher for his years of dedication to the community of Lynn. Fisher was laid to rest with honors yesterday in Spartanburg Cemetery in Randolph County. The community came together to honor a man that friends, family, and colleagues call a hero. News 8's Kat Sandoval takes us there.
The people of Lynn are honoring their town marshal, Brad Fisher, who was killed in the line of duty Wednesday. Right behind me is the funeral procession. The community is paying tribute and honor to the man who they say is a hometown hero.
It's very devastating for everybody. I don't know that words, just a devastating situation that was uncalled for. Brad was a very dedicated police officer and firefighter, and he's going to be greatly missed.
Lynn is a town of less than 1,000 people, and hundreds came to pay tribute to the man who served their community. Multiple police cars and fire trucks from various counties joining the procession to pay their respects. The funeral was held at Randolph Southern High School, Fisher's alma mater. The Lynn mainstay spent 27 years in law enforcement. He was also a fire department captain and an umpire. At the funeral, his big brother, Jason Fisher, called Brad a Cubs fan, the life of the party, a town hero, and an inspiration who inspired him to volunteer as a firefighter.
Brad's legacy as a public servant is evident in front of all of you today. A testament of his all or nothing attitude. He always gave 200%. And those who knew Brad knew that. Brad took life and discussions to the next level every time.
Fisher's daughter, through tears, says she'll miss the phone calls and watching the Cubs game together, but she says his legacy lives on.
I love you so much, Pops. Thank you for everything. We'll be sure to try to take care of Lynn for you, and most importantly, to take care of Mom. Your legacy isn't a badge, a fire helmet, or an umpire's mask. Your legacy is these people that you inspired.
Those closest to him remember him as the life of the party who brought people together. Now the community is coming together to celebrate him and to say goodbye one last time to their hometown hero. Reporting in Lynn, I'm Kat Sandoval for Wish TV, wishtv.com.
Happening today, a plan to revitalize Washington Square Mall will be revealed. City County Councilor Michael Paul Hart says after market analysis, a town hall, and input from tenants in the community, he is ready to announce the new vision plan for the long vacant mall.
We're trying to take that sentiment from the folks who were part of the community, right? And they said, we love them all, we don't want to see it go. Well, the market analysis says you can't keep them all, right? It's clearly not working. So how do you find that middle ground? And then we start looking at things like, there's like the sports complex is a big one that comes up all the time. We talk about some housing potential opportunities. We talk about more retail space.
Hart says the idea is to develop all 100 acres, including the parking lot. The plan will be unveiled at 6 tonight at Warren Township School Administration Building. The meeting is free and open to the public. New on Daybreak, police say they have arrested a man after a weekend shooting that left one man dead and another injured on the east side. Police say it happened at East 11th Street just before 1:30 yesterday afternoon. Officers say they found a man shot inside an apartment building. He was taken to the hospital. Short time later, police say a man brought another victim to the hospital and that person died. IMPD says they detained the man, but it is not clear if that's the same person they arrested for murder and robbery. Police have yet to announce any arrests in another deadly shooting yesterday. IMPD says it happened on Emerson Avenue near 34th Street in a gas station parking lot at 6:30 in the morning. They say they found the man shot at the scene where he died. After responding to both Sunday shootings, officers say they're frustrated.
This is the second homicide that I have responded to in Indianapolis within the last 12 hours, both of which broad daylight shootings. 2 people have lost their life. This is unacceptable behavior, unacceptable.
Police have not released any information about the victims in either of the shootings. Indianapolis firefighters say 40 adults and 15 kids are without a home this morning after an apartment fire in Beech Grove. It happened at the Diplomat Apartments last night. Firefighters say no one is hurt. People called 911 saying there was a kitchen fire on the 3rd floor. Crews say everyone was out of the building within 15 minutes and the fire was under control in about 30 minutes. They say multiple animals were rescued at the scene. 2 members of our political team say they're not surprised by Senator Rod Bray's decision to step down as a Senate leader. News 8's government reporter Garrett Berquist asked them who's most likely to succeed him in this week's episode of All Indiana Politics.
I think part of being a good leader is knowing when it's time to call it, and I think he knew that he didn't have the votes in that room. I think he still got the respect of a lot of people in that room if he doesn't have their votes, certainly, and probably even more so for having, voluntarily stepped down. But I think, anybody who's been watching has seen this coming. It was either going to be voluntarily or by a vote in November. So,
Brad, how might this change the dynamics in the Senate day to day?
Well, the biggest component of who ends up being the pro tem is who gets to appoint the committee chairs. And so I think that'll have a large say on, there's gonna be a lot of horse trading on who ends up in that position. And then we'll see the domino effect on who ends up running the committees. And that'll impact the day-to-day quite a bit.
And so this is for both of you. Right now, who do you think is the most likely successor to Senator Rod Bray as president pro tempore?
Well, I don't know the answer to that because the people in the room don't know the answer to that. So
True.
I think I've heard a few names floated around. I know Senator Garton's likely going to make a play for it. He was Senator Bray's number 2. I've heard Senator Scott Baldwin out of Noblesville in the mix as well. Senator Johnson out of the Fort Wayne area as well. I've heard a lot of names. I haven't heard that anybody's got a majority of the votes there, certainly a plurality. All those guys that are mentioned are known entities in the State House. They've all led that caucus through some sticky policy issues. I think they'd all do a great job.
Brad, how do you read this?
Very similarly, I don't think that there's anyone right now that's the obvious front runner. So I think there's going to be a lot of behind the scenes conversations on who can bring a majority vote together. There's going to be horse trading to try to get that done. And ultimately, I think someone's going to have to bow to somebody else in order to sort of say, okay, it's yours, but what do I get for that? And time will tell.
A new report shows that local teachers and staff are getting punched, kicked, bit, and scratched by their own students. The incidents are detailed in the first of its kind report on employee injuries from the Bartholomew Consolidated School Corporation. Kara Kenny with Indiana's I-Team explains why this type of reporting is so timely.
Schools are required to report employee injuries to the Indiana Department of Education. IDOE then posts this report online, broken down by school district. However, state lawmakers decided to do away with this type of reporting, but one school corporation is taking matters into its own hands. Jason Major is a school board member in Bartholomew Consolidated, a corporation with 2,000 employees. He drafted a policy aimed at protecting those employees. It requires the district to track when school employees are injured on the job by another person. Bartholomew Consolidated just released its first report under the new policy. It reveals 319 total incidents from July 2025 to June 2026.
I think the significance of this report is it really is allowing us to have some full transparency of what the situation is in the classroom. And I think it is going to really help drive conversation.
So far, it is.
Teachers are reporting.
100%.
And that is very important because we need to understand the causes for why a teacher is getting hit, punched, scratched, scraped, bit, hand slammed in the door, right? So that we can then try to fix those issues.
At a July meeting, school board members and staff talked about the data.
So you can see by month there, ranging from 2 beginning in July to a high of 66 in September.
89% of reported injuries happened at an elementary level, 11% in middle or high school. Dr. Laura Hack, the director of elementary education, says there's many reasons behind the numbers, including students with special needs and new students.
Could be a new student that has come into our setting and into our classrooms, and that then itself is adding some more complexities because of maybe some past experiences or past trauma.
We had a lot of discussion that we never had around this because people saw numbers and they started to ask questions about how can we make it better. And that's the whole goal.
Last summer, we introduced you to Melissa Strevel. She resigned from the corporation after she says she was hurt on the job by students.
He was stomping on my feet, kicking my legs. The bottom half of my legs were completely red and swollen.
Strevel left the district for safety reasons. Jason Major hopes this new report sends a message that the district takes this issue seriously.
It's wonderful that all the employees are putting the reports in. That'll help us then take the next step, which is start to identify how we make improvements.
The last state report like this one is due out next month. Starting in July 2027, schools will start reporting battery incidents to the Indiana Department of Labor. However, those reports will not be publicly posted online. I'm Kara Kenny with Indiana's I-Team.
Happening today at Colts Camp, the team will hit the field for practice in full pads. This is the first practice the Colts will be in their full gear. The players say they're ready to get to work.
It'll be more physical. When you put the pads on, you'll hear a lot more banging out there. And it's just even more like football, being able to grab on to those shoulder blades a lineman never grab. We just put our hands on. Having those shoulder pads on, these helmets on, I feel like is what makes the game fun because you could just play with reckless abandon and come off the ball hard.
Once you put the pads on, that's where everything matters. And that's where you have to really, one of the pillars we want to build off of is being physical. So it starts Monday and carry Monday all the way till, Super Bowl. So that's the goal.
Practice is set to begin at 10 this morning and will last for an hour and 15 minutes. To the Fever and their 5-game winning streak that came to an end last night against the Minnesota Lynx. Lynx beat the Fever 108-100. Fever guard Kelsey Mitchell led with 37 points. Caitlin Clark had 19 points and 10 assists and is already focused on the next game.
Late a lot of the times, and then obviously the offensive rebounding that we gave up tonight really hurt us, and that starts with me. I think my player got at least 4 tonight, so I got to be better in that area, and I can for sure. And I think we were just like a little bit of a step slow. At times we did get stops, and then we just shot ourselves in the foot by not actually going and get the ball.
Despite the loss, this was the 6th straight game where the Fever scored at least 100 points. Next, the Fever are at home on Thursday against the Las Vegas Aces. Tip-off is set for 7 p.m. New on Daybreak, Fever guard Sophie Cunningham is making headlines for her stance on transgender women in sports. A crowd of critics and supporters gathered inside and outside of the game yesterday. It's the 3rd straight Fever game that drew a rally since Cunningham publicly voiced her support for barring transgender girls and women from women's sports. Yesterday, the Lynx coach wore a shirt under her jacket that said, "Trans kids belong," and some of the crowd booed Cunningham as she took the court. Other fans held signs that said, "Thank you, Sophie." Over the weekend, Cunningham said she is not concerned about the rallies becoming a distraction for the Fever. In college football, the defending national champions, the IU Hoosiers, will start fall camp on Wednesday in Bloomington. IU goes into the season with a massive target on the team's back after winning the national championship back in January. Since then, head coach Curt Cignetti has been able to experience a lot, like driving the pace car at the Indy 500. He's also on the cover of EA Sports video game College Football 27 Deluxe Edition. Andrew Chernoff asked him about being on the cover this week at Big Ten Media Days in Chicago.
We thought it'd be good for the brand. A lot of the recruits play that game, and
So it was a good day filming all that. And, my pictures, I don't know, I'm pretty critical of my pictures.
So not a fan of the photo.
No, I like the photo. It was good. Okay, my wife said it was good, so it's good.
Game is out now. You can play it on PlayStation 5, Xbox Series XS, and PC. The Hoosiers will start their season Saturday, September 5th. They're going to play the University of North Texas. Excited? Football season's basically here. This has been your News 8 Daily from Wish TV. I'm Hannah Morda. Watch us on Wish TV and WishTV.com.
This episode is brought to you by Progressive Insurance. Do you ever think about switching insurance companies to see if you could save some cash? Progressive makes it easy to see if you could save when you bundle your home and auto policies. Try it at Progressive.com. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. Potential savings will vary. Not available in all states.
As a small business owner, sometimes it feels like no matter how much planning you do, there's always surprises, like an urgent, expensive repair. But here's a surprise you will like. With Progressive, small business owners save 13% on their commercial auto insurance when they pay in full. So enjoy a surprise for once. Get a quote in as little as 8 minutes at ProgressiveCommercial.com. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. Discounts not available in all states or situations.
This is the News 8 Daily 8 podcast, a Wish TV News 8 update on demand. For even more, on demand and on the go. Connect with Wish TV on Facebook at WishTV.com and on the free Wish TV mobile app. Thank you for listening. And be sure to like, subscribe, and follow this podcast for updates every weekday morning on the All Indiana Podcast Network and wherever you get your podcast.
As a small business owner, sometimes it feels like no matter how much planning you do, there's always surprises, like an urgent, expensive repair. But here's a surprise you will like. With Progressive, small business owners save 13% on their commercial auto insurance when they pay in full. So enjoy a surprise for once. Get a quote in as little as 8 minutes at ProgressiveCommercial.com. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. Discounts not available in all states or situations.